See there?
Oh, hello.
Yeah. All right. Let's try to start this thing off. Again, I haven't written an intro because I was doing it by myself. But well, welcome to another Fireside Chats with Dave episode. There'll probably some ambient background bullshit in the background for you to listen to at the same time. But I'm recording this on a Sunday afternoon in October and the spooky month. And instead of recording by myself, I've managed to rope in a guest who has been trying to get onto the podcast for a number of years since I've been doing it. The other boys are unavailable, so I have my little brother, Liam, to introduce. I'm the oldest of four of us, so I've got my little brother Liam with us. Now, there's a couple of ulterior motives for Liam being on here, but yeah, Liam was a professional footballer for a long time, and for those you playing at home, this is the real football, not AFL aerial ping pong or football as in rugby. It is soccer for the American people. So Liam has done that for a long, long time, and now he's not your old fucker now, but hello, Liam.
Hello. It's been
Yeah,
long overdue this one.
it has been. He's been sitting in the background giving me shit about the podcast for as long as I've been doing it. So yes, he's come in and said he's a professional footballer, but he's also said the ulterior motive has been here. In the interest of full disclosure, one of the other episodes previously was sponsored by Gaijin Distilling, which is Liam and my father's distilling company or distillery in Moorabbin in Victoria, where they stay. So it's Liam's come on to talk a little bit about his gin. Or their gin rather, and he's going to listen to me talk about our topic today, which is from our old where we used to live in New Zealand.
Can't wait.
Yes. So Liam, tell us about your gin.
We are a Japanese style gin based in Moorabbin in Victoria.
Mm-hmm.
The reason for having a Japanese style gin is because Dad and I's favorite type of gin, really.
Mm-hmm.
So all types of different Japanese botanicals, such as kumquat, especially the main one.
Easy now.
In our yeah, can't give away the recipe.
Yeah, just make sure you don't leave you add the quat bit to any recipe because if you add Japanese cum to your gin, there's going to be some real concerns. But anyway, continue.
Special ingredient, mate. Yeah, so we've been going for about 6 months now. So we're in a few places in and around Victoria, especially in the Bayside. And obviously since the warmer weather has been kicking off, well, slightly warmer weather for Victoria, people have been more interested in getting more leads and everything like that. So I'm looking forward to see what the festive season brings, I guess.
Yeah, because obviously we're rolling up towards the crazy season, obviously in the southern hemisphere, where obviously I'm in Perth in Western Australia, and Liam is in Victoria, and obviously the east coast of Australia. So we're starting to head into our summer months, or spring at least at the moment. Victoria is generally colder than Western Australia, it's
A lot.
but a lot colder, but it's I'll put it in the show notes in the episode, and once I do the promo for it. But how do people go and follow you, or do you have any social media pages or anything like that? Or
Yeah, so we have our Instagram, which if you look up Gaijin Distilling, so Gaijin Distilling, and it should be the first one. We're the only one with that name, so you should be able to find it. And then the website www.gaijindistilling.com, and you'll see our stock list there.
Yep.
The gins you like. So inside Australia, it's $7.50 shipping.
Oh Jesus! All right, bloody hell! Well, it's a shameless plug. It's a shameless plug.
Put a plug in there, yeah.
Bloody hell!
Then overseas, it's $10. So pretty good.
We're not TV shopping network, mate, or podcast shopping network. Fucking hell! But he's got two lovely gins, the Victoria Dry and the Citrus Gin, which is full of cum and quat. Said I'll put it on the Facebook, no, the Instagram page for us, and on the show notes for this, so you can click and have a look. And Yeah, go
Just
and let's give him some love on the social media pages, etc. So,
just on the Victoria Dry Gin that won silver at the Australian Gin Awards for
oh,
2024.
oh fucking hell, all right.
So that's my favorite one. And
Yeah,
the citrus gin, I would say, is more for your cocktails as
yeah.
such. So you can mix those, make your aviation cocktails, martinis.
He's hitting, ladies and gentlemen, he's hitting all the key points that he needs to hit. So he's well done. He's
Just
the
crossing off the
the
list, mate.
yeah, the shareholders are going to be pleased with his being he's the fact that he owns half the shares. But anyway, it's a good little setup. They're going to get, I reckon they're going to get massive in the next 6 months, and they're in some local businesses in Victoria. So if you've got a bar, I know a couple of people who listen have got a bar, or you like gin. Um, Go and hit them up on their Instagram page and their website, and I'll put it up there. But enough of the talking about the gin and the bollocks. As I said, I spoke to you earlier, Liam, is playing football, but you played soccer for. I know that's the story, so I'm just acting like I'm stupid. But
I played
you played,
soccer for New Zealand.
yes, in a World Cup, wasn't it, or at least two World
Yeah,
Cups?
two under 20 World Cups. We got disqualified from the under 23 Olympic qualifiers, which is unfortunate. But off the back of that, I did quite well at the tournament, so I got a first team or a senior gig. Got a cap for the national team, which was nice.
Excellent, excellent. You travelled all around the globe playing your football,
Yeah,
and
that's
now
it.
you've hit the real world by coming back and having to get a job and do what
Yeah,
normal people do. You cheeky prick. But no,
get a sloppy as rig.
yeah, that's right.
It happens when you retire.
Let yourself go and make a fucking mess of yourself. So,
That's it.
but no, as I said, I'm making a lot of noise in my chair. But as I said, Liam is the my youngest of all my brothers, so I'm the oldest. At the ripe old age of 21, so I'm still pretty young for an old bloke at 21. Um,
You've aged terribly then.
yeah, no, fuck it, I know.
Yeah.
Fuck you. But no, so I thought I'd get Liam on to talk shit about himself, which for some reason, he's very quiet. He normally just likes talking shit about random topics, but we're not going to go down that rabbit hole, Liam, because that's how I get myself cancelled. So I brought him on to talk about a cult from New Zealand, because obviously we're staying on theme here for the podcast and talking all random shit. We're going to talk about the Centrepoint Community. Give us a little bit of an intro into it, Liam, and then we can talk shit the way through. It's pretty. I left a lot of the huge, massive details out of it, but you'll get the idea that we go through. It wasn't very nice, and I do excuse now because the person's surname is Potter, and every time I hear the word Potter, all I can think about is Draco Malfoy saying Potter. So if I accentuate the word Potter during this recording, that's the reason why, and I'll let you have a giggle about the fact that I'm accentuating the word Potter and the guy's an absolute fucking monster. Anyway, all right, are you ready, Liam, to kickstart?
Always, mate. Let's go.
Excellent. You're born ready. Okay. New York, New York. Imagine a place where people came together to escape societal norms, to live freely, to explore personal growth and communal living. Sounds ideal, doesn't it? But what if this ideal community was hiding something sinister? A world of manipulation, abuse, and the exploitation that shattered lives. Welcome to another episode of Fireside Chats with me, your host Dave, and the person listening in the background, Liam. Today we're deep diving into the story of the Centrepoint Community, a communal utopian cult from our old stomping ground in New Zealand. This cult promised freedom and enlightenment, but left a legacy of trauma and some pretty bad legal battles. So grab a seat by the fire, and I'll play some random fire in the background, because this is going to be a revealing and intense look at the dark side of utopia.
Sounds grim.
Yeah, it does sound pretty grim, especially especially when we start talking about. Anyway, I'll get into it. Okay, the Centrepoint Community was founded in 1977 in Albany and Auckland by Bert Potter. Potter, a charismatic former therapist, there's your first red flag, envisioned a utopia a place where people shared the burdens of conventional life and explore personal growth through radical honesty and alternative therapies. The commune attracted a diverse range of people, young adults seeking freedom, families looking for a new start, and individuals disillusioned with traditional society norms. It's 1977, so this is sort of heading around the time of Vietnam War,
Hippies.
hangover of the 1960s. So people start heading towards that sort of part of life. As I said, Bert Potter was born in 1926 in New Zealand. He led a relatively conventional life in his early years and pursued a career in business and didn't go into his what I fucked that joke up. Okay, hold on. He led a relatively conventional life in his early years and pursued a career in business and not witchcraft and wizardry at Hogwarts. Before founding Centrepoint, Potter was involved in various business activities, including running a plant nursery. His business endeavors were modest and did not bring him significant public attention. In the 1970s, Potter became interested in the human potential movement, a movement that emphasized personal growth, self-improvement, and exploring human potential. This movement often included unconventional approaches to therapy and communal living, which obviously is exactly what he turned the Centrepoint into. Disenchanted with mainstream society and traditional norms, Potter sought to create a community that would embody his ideals of personal freedom and communal living. And with that, the Centrepoint Community was born. A guiding philosophy of Centrepoint was simple: live communally, share resources, and engage in what Potter called personal growth. And at its height, the Centrepoint was home to over 200 people. They lived, worked, and even raised their children there. It was a close-knit community, and for many, it felt like a haven from the outside world. But underneath the surface, things were far from perfect. See, a little bit of an introduction there, Liam. Very quiet on the other side, but at least your microphone's not echoing now.
Just listening, to be fair, because the first thing I wanted to know is what does this geezer look like? So let's have a look here. Bert Potter.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's what I thought he'd look like, to be fair.
Yep. I'll put a picture up so people can have a I'll put a picture up on the episode art for it because he's a peach of a thing. So we'll talk about the life inside the commune, and as I talked about before, the members shared everything at Centrepoint, from food, income, and even parenting duties. Because remember, it takes a village to raise a child, but not a village of these
weirdos.
People. Weirdos, yeah. Because if you had a village full of those, there'd be a massive concern, which is what happened. They participated in group therapy sessions that were meant to help them confront their deepest fears and desires, but Potter's teachings emphasized sexual freedom and breaking down emotional barriers. What was advertised as therapy often involved coercive practices, public confrontations, and a lack of privacy that stripped members of their individuality. The community structure was hierarchical, with Bert Potter sitting at the top, but he was not seen as just a leader, but as a guru, and his word was law. Those closest to him often formed part of a leadership circle, or the Purple Circle, as we have in business and any other thing. Have you heard of the Purple Circle before, Liam?
No, what's that?
The Purple Circle is where if you're not part of it's like the cool group in school. So if you're not part of, this is more of a business-based one. If you're part of the Purple Circle, then you're part of the influential people. But so here's leadership circle. They were given privileges while others were expected to follow without question. And Potter's influence extended into every part of life, and he used his position to normalize behaviors that would later be revealed as deeply abusive. Well, that's
sounds like every bloody 9-to-5 job, to be honest with you.
Well, if you
get told what to do, son. Yeah.
Normalizing behaviors that'll be deeply abusive. I think deeply abusive is probably sort of limiting the amount of bollocks that he put these people through, or him and his group of other weirdos put them through. As I said, Centrepoint's approach to therapy and personal growth would soon be revealed itself as a method of control. Potter used so-called therapeutic sessions not just explore personal issues, but to dismantle boundaries and establish his dominance. Participants were often pushed beyond their comfort zones in ways that were manipulative and harmful, and the atmosphere was almost one of constant scrutiny, with members encouraged to confront and critique each other often harshly and under the guise of honesty and openness. It does sound like a workplace, isn't it? A bad workplace.
Yeah.
But this is a bit where it starts getting a bit icky. Potter's philosophy around sexual freedom was particularly insidious. He espoused the belief that sexual boundaries were an artificial construct imposed by society, and he encouraged all forms of sexual expression within the community, regardless of age or consent. So that's where it differs from most workplaces just slightly, because if that's in your onboarding document, you've got some massive concerns. This led to a culture where adults engaged in sexual activities with minors and who were told that such interactions were part of their growth and liberation. Children were sexualized from a young age, and many were subjected to abuse disguised as educational exploration. The power dynamics within Centrepoint meant that those who were questioned or resisted were quickly silenced, and members who expressed discomfort or tried to set boundaries were labelled as repressed or resistant to growth. Potter's control extended so deeply that even the most blatant abuses were normalised within the community's twisted logic. It was a perfect storm of manipulation, with those inside the commune were made to believe that their experiences, no matter how traumatic, were normal and even necessary. As time went on, the darker aspects of Centrepoint began to surface. Allegations of child abuse, sexual exploitation, and drug use started to emerge. Potter and the other leaders encouraged sexual relationships between the adults and minors under the guise of sexual liberation.
Well, it's Christianity, yeah?
No, it's the opposite. It's society. No, it was just them being all free, and it's without the.
Oh, it's just hippies. It's honestly just hippies.
If you look at the photos, it's literally just a whole bunch of hippies that were
not showering.
Oh no,
Night cabbage.
Yeah, it's the one, but just with a extremely bad sexual abuse component.
It's grim.
So it's pretty grim. The commune's isolation, both physically and mentally, kept many trapped in a cycle of abuse. So we know this started in 1977 and 200 people started joining at the height, but it wasn't until the legal crackdown began in the late 1980s. So we've got like almost 10 years worth of this commune in operation. Police raids uncovered a litany of illegal activities, including widespread drug use, extensive evidence of child sexual abuse, and testimonies of former members, many of whom were children at the time of the abuse, were crucial in building a case against Potter and his followers. These brave individuals came forward with harrowing stories of exploitation and manipulation, detailing psychological and physical toll of their time at Centrepoint. Bert Potter was charged with multiple counts of sexual abuse, indecent assault, and drug offences. His defence rested on the argument that his actions were in line with the commune's philosophy of freedom and personal growth. However, the courts saw through these justifications, recognised them for what they were, excuses for abuse and control. Now, he was charged with the rape of a child, multiple rapes of children, and the next sentence is even more grim. So you just have to work out, this is 1990 he was sentenced, and 1992 for another sentence, what the full sentence was for these two charges. Now, if he was in any other country, if he was in the sentences that he receives for these, I'll let you make a decision once you have a listen to it. But as I said, Potter was convicted and sentenced in 1990 for 3.5 years on drug charges. Now, drugs are used for LSD as well as obviously cannabis, but LSD was the main one. And in 1992, he got 7.5 years for indecent assaults on 5 children, some as young as 3.5. Now, as if he was any other country in the world at the time, he would, if he was in Singapore or something, they'd be shot. But if he was in the States, he would never see the light of day. So he got, 10.5 years for all the offences involved, and 5 other men were convicted of indecently assaulting minors, sexually assaulting minors, and the attempted rape of a minor. The legal proceedings against Centrepoint were highly publicised and shocking to the New Zealand public. The trials laid bare the full extent of the commune's abuses, sparking a national conversation about the nature of cults and the importance of safeguarding individuals from coercive control. And the coercive control is still used now in domestic violence situations. Obviously, it's a big thing here. In Australia, also all across the world, but coercive controls, I think it's also getting legislated, I think, in WA at least. So, for many Centrepoint survivors, the convictions were a long overdue validation of their experiences, and yet the legal victories did not erase the trauma. The damage done to individuals and families was profound, with many former members continuing to deal with the psychological scars of their time at Centrepoint for years to come. In the years since the fall of Centrepoint, New Zealand has continued to reflect on how such a community could exist and thrive for so long. It has prompted discussion about the balance between individual freedom and community safety, and the ways in which vulnerable people can be protected from those who seek to exploit them. In 2012, so 14 years ago now, the once charismatic leader of the Centrepoint community died at the age of 86. Potter had progressive Alzheimer's, and following a fall at a private hospital, he was admitted to Middleborough Hospital in Auckland, where he did not recover. So a bit of an anticlimax in relation to him, but it's he died a lonely man at the age of 86, and Alzheimer's, progressive Alzheimer's, so he would have been not really remember. Yeah, he got him, but he wouldn't exactly remember what he put people through in the 1970s and 80s. So yeah, it is a sort of a bit of a anticlimactic end to him. He got out of prison after 10 years, so he would be out in 2002, and then spent 10 years out and about in the community without any issues, and then died. He would have got out at age 76, give or take, with a good behaviour, and then died at the age of 86. So just a bit of reflection on what we've talked about over the last 30 minutes, 40 minutes or so. So what draws people into groups like Centrepoint? It's a question that doesn't have a simple answer. For many, it's the allure of belonging, of finding a place where they feel understood and accepted. And charismatic leaders like Bert Potter often promise the answers of life's big questions, offering a sense of purpose, direction, and community. But as Centrepoint illustrates, these promises can quickly turn into traps. Experts. We's is experts. Experts who study cults often point to a set of common tactics used by these groups: isolation from the outside world, strict control over members' lives, and the use of manipulation and coercion to enforce loyalty. Centrepoint employed all of these tactics and created an environment where questioning authority was discouraged and conformity was rewarded. The communal living arrangement, the intense group therapy sessions, and the constant pressure of participating in growth activities all serve to reinforce Potter's control. The Centrepoint community story is a powerful and cautionary tale that reminds us of the potential for harm when power goes unchecked and when vulnerable individuals are exploited in the name of personal growth or freedom. As we've reflected on this story, it's important to remember the voices of those survivors and those who have bravely shared their experiences to ensure that the mistakes of the past are not repeated. Do you have any questions about what we just talked about, Liam, before I go and finish this thing up? Or
I don't think I want to ask any questions. Bloody grim.
Yeah, it's pretty gross, eh?
You just can't believe people like this exist.
Yeah, it's just they get a snifter of power and it just turns into a a grim story. Because I know that before we sign off this one, you told me before the recording that you did some research on another. Whilst you're at school, you did research on another similar.
Probably 15 years ago, but there's another it's another cult in New Zealand, which because I went to a religious school, I had to study it and do a report on it, so a bit more rehearsed on that one.
Yeah, but
what get into next time.
Yeah, it wasn't. But the thing is that this one was down south in the South Island. Was it Gloria Vale, wasn't it?
Yeah, run by an Australian bloke.
There we go. But this one, this one we talked about, Centrepoint, was based in Auckland, which is in the north of the North Island, and Gloria Vale, which is a religious cult as opposed to a free-living hippie community, which this one was. It's still going now. Isn't it Gloria Vale still going now? Or it's
I think it's about 20 kilometres inland from Greymouth in the South Island.
Yeah.
So, fuck nowhere.
Yeah, so again, that's that whole we talked about before, is the isolation from the outside world, and then strict control. It's obviously, religion is a little bit easier to control people because it has a number of set rules. But these ones here, where people think they're going away from moving away from with the control of normal societal norms, they're actually replacing one with, because most people need a set of rules to abide by, and if they have to have some leader to show them, it's the same as happened with religion. Or if you look at this one from a manipulation point from a cult leader or a movement leader. Just name it what you like. If you've got a movement of some persuasion, it becomes a leader. So there's always the potential for it to go down a slippery slope, which these sort of things can do. But thank you, Liam, for joining me on this journey to the heart of the Centrepoint community.
A pleasure, mate.
Yeah, I said I know Liam wants to do another one with me, so we'll try and get him on to do he can run the ship, and I'll just listen to what he can do the research on it, and I'll value add on another episode. He can talk about the Gloria Vale one, so we get a bit more of New Zealand content, because most of the stuff you hear on podcasts is all about stuff from the States, or did one on Rock Thoreau from Canada, which was pretty gross. But
Needier.
So we've also got this one over there. You can do the Destiny's Church as well, which is Brian Tamaki, and we can
What a guy.
what a fucking champion, and we can get can we get sued by him? So that'll be nice.
Probably. I can't be surprised.
Yeah, but hey, you can't touch me if he doesn't know who I am.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
Come
thank
at me,
you.
bro.
Yeah, come at me, bro. Digitally, come at me, bro. Anyway, thank you for coming in on the podcast today, Liam. And for those of you listening in the background, if you've found this episode insightful, please share it with everybody. I'll put some podcast up on the Instagrams, and take a moment to subscribe and leave a review if you want to. Again, if you don't want to, we'd hardly put out episodes when we're meant to be as part of a normal calendar. But hey, if you want to give us some love, feel free. Also, go and check out Gaijin Distilling on Instagram. Yeah, hey, look, I'm going to give you a final plug, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Go and buy some gin. If you don't buy gin, or you just want to go and have a look at their webpage, go and give them a like and tell them send them a dirty message and say it was from us. I'll sign off with the normal bits and pieces I do with this. Until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant, and remember, true freedom comes from within, not from the promises of others. Listen to that. That's big words. I could be a cult leader, but anyway,
You good?
True freedom comes from within, not from the promises of others. Anyway, I've been your friendly neighborhood podcaster, Dave, and this has been Fireside Chats with me, Dave. So,
And Liam.
and Liam. All right, take care, bitches. Later, peace.
Ciao. Bye.